Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm just going to show you how to import Drillhole data into Carlson software and how to create some profiles. Once again, I'm going back to my point data, what I used in the previous tutorial to show you how to import the point data and use that data to create grades and isopack the grades and calculate area and your tonnages and stuff like that. So if you remember, this used to be my imaginary information, point information for the coal seam that I was working. So I knew my easting, my northing, and I was just assigning some thickness values to the points, and then I imported the points and created my grids. Now in this lesson we are going to go one step further. We are going to convert these points to drill holes. We are just going to add one more strata to each point and make each point one drill hole. So here you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 different points. Okay, now I created two other tabs. On the first tab I named the first column as my drill hole name. So now each point got its own name and I'm just calling them by numbers. So these are 1 2 to number 11. I have the same northing and easting as what I have in this point file, and I'm assigning some random elevation for this for each drill hole. I'm assigning some elevation, and these are all imaginary. I'm just doing this to teach you how to import the drill hole. Now this drill hole info file that I just created, it has got only the drill hole name, drill hole coordinates, and the surface elevation, and I should probably call that surface elevation instead of just elevation. Okay, just to make everything more clear. Okay, so the next column, what I'm doing, I'm starting with the drill hole name, and just forget about all that. Just focus on this drill hole name, and you see my drill hole name is repeated twice, and that means you have two different strata in drill hole 1, and you have a rock strata name. I'm just calling it rock, and it's a 300 feet of rock. And then you have actually the base elevation of your rock is 300, and the base elevation of your coal is 295, and so the difference is actually 5 feet. And if you go back to your point data, here is your 5 feet. So what I did, I still kept all the thicknesses exactly the same and just added one strata above this coal seam. Okay, and make each of the points into drill holes, converted the points into drill holes, and just adding more data to it. Now let's go to the fourth column, which is the strata key. Here you are defining whether which of your strata are key strata and which are not. This is a very important step. So you have to assign either a no for N and yes for Y to each of the strata that you are adding to your drill hole database. Okay, now you can add your bed name. So for rock, I'm just calling everything as overburden, OV, and for the coal seam, I know it's a C1 seam. It's just another random name I'm assigning, and so every single coal seam that I have, they all got C1. Now, so rock is my non-key strata, and for non-key I don't care about most of those stuff like the BTU or the moisture content or the ash or sulfur content, but I do care about the density. You know, sometimes I have to calculate the volume and tons of overburden material, so they're kind of important. So I'm just assigning 120 density for the overburden, And for the coal, as it's a key strata, we have to have more information about the thermal value and the moisture and the ash content, sulfur, and also the density of the coal seam. Again, these are all the numbers that I have randomly assigned. So my points that I started working with, they are now converted into 11 drill holes, each drill hole with two layers, one rock layer and another coal layer. They got their base elevation, they are defined as either key or non-key strata. They've got their own bed names, either overburden or the C1, and they got some properties associated with it. Now all you need to do, go to your drill hole info file and save it as a CSV again. CSV and drill hole info. And well, try drill hole info. It's not letting me save. Okay, now go to drill hole data and just save it as another CSV and call it drill hole data. So this file would have all of your strata information. Okay, let's okay, and the points, I just have it as an example where we started before, so you don't have to worry about anything here. Now let's open up your, well, this is opening up my AutoCAD. Let's see what it opens. No, this is not what I want. Let's close this window real quick. Hold on. Let's go and open the Carlson software. This is the 2011 version. You may have a newer version, but I'm thinking that most of the menu, but they are still the same. Okay, and I have already created a Drillhole import DWG file. I'm just going to open that. And here we go, and I have this file which I don't need. Okay, so now I have opened a DWG file. This is a blank one right now. I have nothing in here, and I'm going to import the drill hole. So what we have right now, we have two different CSV files there. Circle learning, then data, drill hole files. So these are, one is your drill hole data.csv, and another one is your drill hole info.csv. Okay, so that's all you need. Now when you open your Carlson window and you want to go to your geology module, and when you are in the geology module, you have a whole bunch of menu tabs, and you just want to go to the drill hole. And before you do anything, you gotta set up at least the define drill hole thing, and you can create just new, or you can browse to an existing one and just say open, and you can define, or you can just just save it and not worry about it at all, but you just need to define that once before you import it. Now once again, it's define strata, no, not define strata, it's define drill hole. It's a ch file. It's just, you just gotta define it real quick before you do anything. The next step, you can go to drill hole and go to import export drill holes, and then you click on the drill hole import button. Now this window comes up. Here you have the custom import formatter. That's what we want. And then it's asking you separate drill hole and strata files, and that's what we created. We have one file with just the drill hole coordinate and the elevation data, and another file with the strata information. So yes, that's what we would like to do. Now our information is asking for drill hole color survey data file. So, and it's also saying it can be a txt file, SASC file, DAT file, or CSV file. So here we have a drillhole info.csv. I'm gonna select that. Now it's asking for a strata data file, and so that's drillhole data.csv. I'm gonna select that. Now this is not really tricky, but the next thing you want to do is be consistent with the order that you have defined your data. Like over here you have drill hole name the first in your data info file, drill hole info file. You have the drill hole name first, then northing, then easting, then surface elevation, and they're comma separated, so I chose that comma delimiter delimiter, I'm sorry. And header lines to skip one, because this line over here, it's not borehole data information, it's just a header to show what kind of data we have in what order. So normally what you have, like if you're doing it for the first time, you have like these all these parameters over here, and which are available. You just gotta make sure you add to the next window over here in the same order you have it down here. So drill hole name, yeah, I want to add it first. Northing next, so here is my northing, add northing. Then easting, here is my easting, add easting next. And then surface elevation, here is the surface elevation, add next. Okay, so you have nothing else in your drill hole info file, so hit OK. Now again, let me clean that up first so that I can show you what to do. And this one you have got all those different options. Okay, now first is the drill hole name, so find your drill hole name. Okay, the next is the strata name, here is your strata name. The next is your strata base elevation, strata bottom, that's depth, we want strata bottom elevation, it's right here, add next. Then you have strata key, that means it's asking whether it's a key strata or not, so that's right here, strata key or non-key. Then I have the bed name, which would be where it is, bed name, add that. Then I have BTU, here is my BTU. Then the moisture, then the S, then the sulfur, and the density. Okay, you can add more stuff in here, like if you have something else, say you're analyzing for phosphorus or arsenic or whatever in your code seam, so you can add more attribute. And if you don't have something available and you do have that in your database, you can always do add attribute and just type, say, arsenic. Okay, then it will show up as arsenic, and it will show up as entry point in here, entry parameter. But we don't have arsenic, so I'm just going to remove that, so it will stay here. Okay, so let's check one more time. I have drill hole name is okay, then strata name, that's good. Strata base elevation, strata bottom elevation, that's good. Strata key, non-key, bed name, BTU, moisture, S, sulfur, density. Okay, we are good. Then hit OK. So it's everything is already imported. It says over here reading core holes 11 and 11 imported 11 drill holes. Okay, now you wanna do zoom, extend, and here are the drill holes. Okay, now you see that you don't have any drill hole IDs or anything associated with it. The next thing I always like to do is just to go to the drill hole menu again and go to the draw drill hole text, and I do standard drill hole text, and I at least want to see the drill hole name next to it, so I only choose this option over here and just hit OK. Then it's asking for select objects. I want to do it. I want to see names for every single of those boreholes. So I select all of those and hit enter, and it's asking attributes to display, but I don't want to display anything, so I hit clear. So nothing is selected, so it's gonna show only my drill hole ID. Then hit OK, and here we are. See, 1 to 11, you have all those different boreholes. The next thing I want to do, I just go to any of these boreholes and just double click on it. Hold on, here we go. So that edit drill hole window comes up, and on the right it's kind of showing me my two different strata in two different color. Okay, your coal and your rock, they're even over here they have two different symbols associated with it, or two different patterns, and the depths are given here, the elevations are over here, the thicknesses, everything is coming off the surface elevation and the bottom elevation of these two strata. And here the rock is not key, coal is key, bed name is C1, and we know the quality is available. And if you want to see the quality, I guess you have to double click on it. If you double click on it, then you will see that the strata list, the strata name is coal, bed name is C1, this is strata number 2, here is the thickness, here is the bottom thickness, here is the depth, and 1 2 3 4 5. You have 5 different quality information associated with this strata. Okay, go back, go to the rock again. If you do hit on rock, you will see only one quality information, or only one attribute is associated with the rock unit or the overburden unit. So you know that everything looks good and nice. Next thing I typically do is create some kind of cross section, and to do that it's really simple and really nice. In Carlson, you just go to the drill hole and then do draw geologic column, and most of the time I do it on 2D grid, and I like to line up and align by the strata. Okay, and you can, if you have like multiple strata, multiple coal seams, you can choose to align by one particular strata. In this one I have only one coal seam, so strata name I'm just saying coal, bed name I'm saying C1, and I wanna correlate based on the bottom elevation, and I'm keeping a horizontal scale 250, vertical scale 100. You can change all that, and then some grid interval 50 by 50, and you can label all kinds of stuff. I'm just gonna label the strata name, the strata thickness, the bed name, and I'm gonna label the key strata only, and based on my bottom elevation. You can also not also choose to show nothing for the bottom or the top elevation for the different strata. Okay, at least for the bed I would say you like to see the bottom elevation. Okay, then over here layer strata individually, and fill by, you can have solid fill, you can have the outline only. Well, let's see what it does. Let's hit OK, and it's asking for select fins alignment poly9 or enter for none. I do not have any poly9 right now, so I'm just gonna enter one. Then it's asking me to select object. Let's select all and see the cross section that will just place all those different boreholes and align them in one line. Okay, now hit again, hit enter again. Then it's asking what attributes would you like to see. Let's choose maybe the as content, the sulfur, and the BTU for the coal seam. At this point I don't care what's going on with the non-key strata, that means what's going on with the overburden, so I don't want to see anything there, and just hit OK. Now it's asking me to pick a location for the geologic column. Let's pick somewhere at the top maybe. Let's hit it over here. Now here we go. Let's see. Now I cannot zoom for some reason. Come on. Let's try a Z and E first. Here we go. So here you have the coal seams, and for some reason the coal seams, they are not connected, they are aligned by the coal seam, like, and this is elevation 295. Here is the coal seam thickness 200, it's 200 feet deep, and here is the BTU for this coal seam at this location. Here's the ash content, here's the sulfur value, and here's everything else. But it looks like I wanted to like join these coal seams, but it did not do that. So let's delete that and redo my what happened. Let me make sure that I'm not deleting my boreholes. Okay, yeah, you got it. Okay, a few more. Select all that. Delete it. Okay, I'm gonna rerun my geologic column script. So I'm going to go back to my draw geologic column and see what I missed. Here is something I missed. Draw strata connection. I want that. And here's something else I missed. I would like to see a solid fill instead of outline. Okay. Now let's hit OK again. Fence alignment polyline. I don't have anything. Select objects. I want to select everything there. And let's see all of that we had before. Hit OK. Now it's asking me which strata to connect, because we have selected this time that connects strata, and this is the strata that we want to connect. Coal, and which is C1 is the bed name, and full name is the coal, and it's a key strata. And hit OK. Then it's asking for a location for the geologic column. Once again I'll just pick somewhere over here. Now you see that it's nicely placed all of my boreholes. They have aligned the boreholes based on my coal seam. So this is my coal seam, and let's see, at the top this is my borehole ID, this is the surface elevation of that borehole, and I did not ask my program to put any kind of information on the overburden, so you don't see anything. And you see the BTU again for the coal, the ash content for the coal, sulfur content of the coal, and I also have the thickness data for the coal seam in here, the depth, the elevation, and everything. Now you can do a whole bunch of other things too. Let's do another cross section and just go back and do draw geologic column. And instead of seeing the whole borehole, what you can do, you can choose some kind of depth interval. Let's see, where would you do that? Here we go. Specify elevation range. Now specify strata range. Thickness roof, let's try that. We want to see 20 feet of roof and 5 feet of floor. Okay, and space scalar, I'm gonna make it 8 and hit OK again. I still don't have any fence alignment line. Hit OK. Select objects. So man, here you go. Now 11 pound. So strata range, from which strata you want the 20 feet of roof and 5 feet of floor? I want it from coal. Hit OK. Then location for the geologic column, let's do it here. There we go. Now you see that we do not have anything below the coal seam. We do not have any information. But now you can see that it's your length of the strata is not as big as before. What we should have done is change our vertical scale so that we can see it a little bit better. So let's try it again. Let's go back to the geologic column, and instead of having vertical scale of 100, let's make that 20. And space separator, I'm going to make it 5. And let's do it again. Select objects. Objects are in here. That's all we want. This is the strata we like. Based on coal, put it right there. Okay. Now you have the coal, which is yellow. In a typical geologic column, you would normally see coal in red, and you can change all that color if you like, but in this exercise I'm just showing you how to play with this. So now what you have, it's a 1 to 20 vertical scale, and because I'm using a less spacer in between the boreholes, you see the length of this geologic cross section is longer, and here it's much smaller and they are closer, and you see more information on the coal, and it looks prettier than before. So that's pretty much it, and in the next tutorial I'll go through and show you how to do the grades from the borehole data that we have and create the same grades that we created using the point data, and we'll check if the isolines, they would look about the same or not. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you are learning something, and if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask. Thank you.